Kicking y'all, quick panic here, and I am back with another deck profile. So today I wanted to do something a little bit fun. I've been playing a lot of True Draco Zoo, and I just got back from a regional and a lot of rounds of playing the Fusion Sub combo. And now that that's gone, I kind of wanted to celebrate with something a little bit more my style. I play meta when I go to big events because it doesn't make any sense to play anything but the best deck, honestly. Something that's going to be consistent and take you to the end of the tournament and get you to the top. But when I'm not playing in something competitive and I have like 2 weeks until I have a regional, or 1 week, I don't know, I have a week off, I think, and I have a couple tournaments I can play something fun. So today I'm going to bring you an Invoked True Draco deck, and I've mentioned that I like the Invoked deck when I did the Zombie Invoked profile, and I really like the True Draco cards, honestly. I know that they're broken right now, or they seem broken, and it's a really good deck, but I actually like the art on them, and I like the way that the deck works. So I went ahead and I threw together a True Draco-Invoked deck, and it's actually a lot of fun. It has a lot of synergy, believe it or not, and all of the True Draco monsters have different attributes, so that works really well with Alistair the Invoker and his Invocation spell card because it allows you to go into any of the fusion monsters. So True Draco doesn't use any extra deck at all, so that allows you a lot more freedom to go ahead and use cards that will work with the Invoked. So I'll go ahead and start here. I'm running a bunch of cards that normally go in like meta decks, obviously, because I want it to be semi-competitive. I realize this isn't going to win nationals or anything like that, but like I said, this is something that I wanted to do for fun. So here we go. So I start with the hand traps. I have Max C because it's at 1, and people are still going to be playing Zoo. Whether or not you like it, it's still the best deck. Then I'm playing 2 Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. I like to play 3, but I don't have enough room for it. But it's a light monster, so it works as fodder for Invocation if you'd like to make a Mechabo, which is arguably the best fusion. So I run 2. I didn't really have room for more because I wanted to make more room for 3 Ash Blossom Enjoy Spring. So this is a 3 of in almost every deck, maybe a 2 of, depends on what you're running. But you can also make Purgatorio, Invoked Purgatorio, which is also a really good fusion. So it's a fire, which makes that. And obviously it stops a lot of good cards in the game. So we get into the True Draco cards. I'm playing 1 Majesty Maiden. When your opponent activates a card effect, you get to search for a True Draco monster. So this is pretty good. I only run 1 because it's not amazing. I like Dynamite Knight Fighter better, but Dynamite Knight? What is his name? I know his name was Knuckler or Knuckles in the OCG anyway. But I run 1 of her because she searches monsters, and she's also a win to make Raijin with the Invoked stuff. I'm running 1 Ignis Heat because if you go second and you're going against Zoo, it allows you to have a follow-up play, and it lets you search for the spell, any continuous spell, True Draco or True King card, and activate it from your deck. So I went ahead and I ran 1 of this, just if I'm going second, I can still have a play where I can tribute summon even if they pop him. And then here's Dynamite Knight. What's your name? Dynamite Knight, the True Draco Fighter. So I had the right words in there, I guess. But this guy lets you activate a trap that is a True King or True Draco from your deck. And I'm running 2 of those, and you'll see those a little bit later in the profile. But it allows me to tribute summon right after I activate the effect, and anytime any of the traps go to the graveyard, they pop a monster. So it's a really good disruption play. And he has 2,500. He's a water, so he lets you go into Psyoctis or Psychotis, whatever his name is, the Invoked. And then I'm only running 2 Masterpiece, and I know he's a light, so he makes Mechabo, which is awesome, and you can pitch him if you get into a tight bind. But he's obviously the best one. I like to run 3 if I can, but I just don't have room for it. So I'll test with this, and maybe I'll update the deck profile and check it back in with you guys. But 2 Masterpiece, you can send him for Invocation, then bring him back with True King Return, which is cool. Then we're running 3 of the Alistairs, just because he's the other engine, and I know both of these take normal summons. All of the Draco cards take Tribute Summon to get them out, so that takes up your normal summon, unless you use one of the spells or traps, which doesn't always happen, unfortunately. And Alistair has to be normal summoned. So you might think it gets a little bit cloggy, but we are going to go ahead and show what else is in here. And I have Gemknight Garnet and Perform Age Trick Clown because we're running the Brilliant Fusion engine. And there's a lot of things that this Brilliant Fusion engine does. So it allows you to get out the Trick Clown into the graveyard, either for fodder for Invocation to make a Mechaba, or you can use it to make a rank 4 play really quick with an Alistair that you already have out, and you'll see that there are a couple of rank 4s in the deck, but it's just an option. I couldn't justify running Snow as the light target, and I didn't always want to be sending Masterpiece or Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit, so that's why we run him in there. And then Garnet is because you need him for Brilliant Fusion, obviously. And then that brings us to the beginning of the spells. And so I'm running 3 Brilliant Fusion. Now, when you're playing the the Zodiac True Draco, they run a lot of continuous spells like Fire Formation Tenki and Zodiac Barrage already, which gives the deck a lot of synergy. So by running Brilliant Fusion, which is a continuous spell card, you open yourself up to an awesome Masterpiece play. If you can't resolve anything else on the field, if they Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit, a lot of other things, or Ash Blossomed your diagram, and you can't search for a spell, Brilliant Fusion will let you ditch your Garnet and another light. It doesn't really matter which one, but preferably Perform Mage Trick Clown. And then it'll get you Seraph Knight, who counts as an effect monster. He's obviously a fusion. And then you'll have Brilliant Fusion on the board, which stays after the fusion is done. So you'll have continuous spell and an effect monster that you can just tribute for Masterpiece. And if you've already used your normal to summon this turn to use Alistair or another True Draco, no worry, because Seraph Knight gives you another tribute summon, or another normal summon rather. So there's a lot of synergy like that, and I decided to play this in the deck because of that. And I think it helps make the Alistair and the True Draco stuff all fit together a lot better. So that's why I'm playing that. For field spells, I'm only running 1 Magical Meltdown. I'm running the Magical Meltdown just so I can get to my Alistair, obviously, but we're running 3 Terraforming, and honestly, Diagram is a stronger engine, Dragonic Diagram, so I'm running the 1 Magical Meltdown. I never liked it because it doesn't do anything for you after the initial activation. It can get Ash Blossomed, which is unfortunate, but we can also run Set Rotation in the side deck, so that makes it a nice little tech kind of thing. Then we're running 2 Invocation for Alistair to search. I run 2 just because, I don't know, if something happens like a DD Crow, a Rogue DD Crow hits an Invocation, it's kind of unfortunate. But you can also, there's no limitation now how many times you can activate Invocation, so 2 is, I like 2. I'll always run 2, I'm pretty sure. Then we're running 3 Terraforming because we're running 3 Dragonic Diagram, which I haven't gotten to yet, but 3 Dragonic Diagram and Magical Meltdown. So when I was playing the True Draco version in the Regional and in the YCS, whenever I had an extra Dragonic Diagram, since I was running such a small True Draco engine, it seemed to be kind of cloggy because it didn't have a whole lot of utility. But now Terraforming has more utility because it can also search out that Magical Meltdown, which is really useful if I've already made all my True Draco plays and already set that up. Then here's the really expensive card. So this isn't like a true fun deck because it's going to take a lot of expensive cards, obviously. But if you're playing meta and you've already had the cards, and you're just tired of playing Zodiac like I am, then this is an option. But Dragonic Diagram searches all your True Draco cards, obviously. Then I'm playing 2 True Draco Heritage, and I'm doing this, I only ran 1 in the Zodiac version of it because you had all the Tenkis and the Barrages and everything, but we don't have that in this deck. And we're also running a lot more of the True Draco monsters. In the other version of the deck with the Zodiac, I was running 3 Masterpiece, and that was it. But I have 2 Dynamite Knight, I have an Ignis Heat, and I have a Dracocaster, Majesty Maiden, and then 2 of the Masterpiece. So I justified that with those means. So I have 2 of the True Draco Heritage, and in this version of the deck, you're more likely to get the draw power off. I'm running 1 Disciples, and I'm only doing that because if I activate the effect of True Draco Heritage, the spell card, and I need to get another normal summon during the turn, I couldn't use another True Draco Heritage because it's a hard once per turn on that extra Tribute Summon activation. So I run this just because I can use this card to get another Tribute Summon off if I need a spell, if I need to Tribute Summon that turn, rather than using a trap card which wouldn't be able to be activated from the hand. And then rounding out the spells, I have 2 Cosmic Cyclones just because the True Draco matchup is real. And that's about it. I've never regretted playing this card. I wish I could fit 2 Chalices, and you'll see that some of the trap cards are interchangeable, so I might do that later. But I'm running 2 Solemn Strike because Zoo is still going to be popular. It's still a great deck. I know it doesn't have a fantastic matchup against the True Draco stuff, but a lot of the times Masterpiece gets tributed for, he uses a monster and a spell to be tribute summoned and doesn't do the traps. So if he tries to pop something, you can still Solemn Strike him. It's not like unheard of. I realize that there's a possibility that Strike wouldn't work on it, but it's still possible. So it has a little bit of utility. Obviously, if I'm playing against True Draco, I would side this out for something else. But if it's Zoo, I mean, it's a great card already. And then we're playing 1 Solemn Warning because it hits Zodiac and it hits True Draco. It's just a summon negator. It also stops Macrocosmos, fun fact if you didn't know that, because it tries to special summon a Helios. And it also stops Kaiju Slumber, Interrupted Kaiju Slumber. So it has a lot of utility outside of stopping summons. You just have to know what your cards do. And then I'm running 2 True King's Return. Now, I like this card a lot because even if I don't just tribute summon for something, using it face down, like as a set right off the bat, I can use my invocation play and ditch like a masterpiece and bring him back with True King's Return, which is a really cool combo. Even though he won't have his effect, he's still 2950, and that's huge. If you're making a fusion play, that means you're already getting out somebody like Mechaba maybe who's 2500, and then you're also going to have a 2950 on the field, and that's nothing to laugh about, especially when you have a Mechaba negation. So I like that combination of them, and yeah, so we're playing 2 of those just so Dynamite Knight has targets. And we're playing 1 True Draco Apocalypse, and it's for the same reasoning that I was running the Disciples. It's just so I have a different name if I need to activate 1 more trap during the turn to get another tribute summon. So that's the end of the main deck. And then the extra deck doesn't really, there's nothing too special about it. But I'm running Daigusta Emerald for the rank 4 play that you can make with Perform Mage Trick Clown. If I want to reset maybe like the Garnet and the Seraph Knight so I can activate Brilliant Fusion again, that's always a possibility. So we have him in here. Then we have Tornado Dragon, just because he disrupts really well. I noticed when I was siding against a lot of players in the regional that I just played this past weekend, Unending Nightmare and Tornado Dragon were actually really clutch against the Zodiac True Draco deck because it can stop Barrage, it can stop Tenki, and it can stop Dragonic Diagram, and that's just fantastic. I mean, it stops a lot of the power plays, so I like Tornado Dragon. Then I'm playing the Utopia package just so I can get over opposing masterpieces if the chance comes up for it, so that's why those guys are in there. The rest are all fusions. So I have the Seraph Knight for the Brilliant Fusion, obviously. He is also 2300 if you pitch a spell. Because of Brilliant Fusion, it brings it out as 0/0, but if you pitch a spell, you can get his stats back, and that can help you OTK, which is pretty cool. Then we have 1 Kaliga, just in case I want to banish a dark, or it can come up, so we have a lot of room, you'll see. Then I'm running 2 Ragin, because Terratop and Takatomborg are still in the deck for now. I realize that June 12th it might be less useful, but we are playing the Draco Caster, the Majesty Maiden. But I also wanted to try the True Draco Phoenix because it has a lot of cool synergy in the deck. So this will probably stay at 2. Cositus, that was his name. Man, I fudged that earlier. I'm sorry about that. But here's the water one. And he is a blowout against any sort of players that are playing Paleo or Frogs. So I really like him. He also can use Dynamite Knight as fodder for the fusion. Then we're using 1 Purgatorio. He gets boosted. He gets crazy strong really fast and has piercing damage, can attack all your opponent's monsters. So if you've negated your opponent's zoo monsters or you baited out the Dryadent or anything like that, you can banish an Ash Blossom or you can banish Ignis Heat to get this guy out with your invocation. Then we're playing 1... what is your name? Magellanica. I was just calling him Big Earth Guy. But we're playing 2 of him because Zoo is still going to be really relevant, like I said a couple times in this video. He's also 3000, which is huge. Then we're playing 2 Mechaba because we can ditch... 2 Mechaba because we can ditch our masterpieces and we can make that True King's Return play that I was talking about, or ditching the Perform Mage Trick Clown, and then he gets negation on top of it. So if you're able to get out your masterpiece in a Mechaba and you have decent number of cards in your hand, so like a spell, a trap, and a monster, then you're able to negate something that might potentially get rid of masterpiece, which is an excellent play, because if you protect masterpiece, you're pretty good, and the chances of your opponent having more than 1 out in their hand are pretty slim. So if you negate the right thing with Mechaba, he becomes masterpiece's best friend. And then the last one is I'm playing Invoked Elysium for the times that it comes up, and he has 4000 defense, so you can sit on him and wait for your opponent to do something that would make you want to banish all of their monsters. So what he does is he counts as all of the attributes, except for Divine, I guess, and it's a quick effect where you can banish it, and then banish all monsters that your opponent controls that, or I think you target and destroy it. Oh no, 1 you control or in the graveyard and banish it, I was right. So you can target 1 invoked monster and banish it, and then banish all monsters your opponent controls with the same attribute, and he counts as all the attributes, so you can just banish all your opponent's monsters. It requires an invoked monster and a monster that was special summoned from the extra deck, so that happens when your fusion monsters get pitched, or maybe even Seraph Knight is in the graveyard. So it's in there for utility, and it's a really good disruptor if you pull it out. So that's all for the main deck and the extra deck. So later on this week, I'm going to post a regional report slash deck profile for one of my teammates on TSG. He won the regional in San Antonio last week, so congrats to him. His name's Avery Foster. I think that's his first regional win, so congrats to him. Clap, clap, clap. And I'm going to go ahead and post that. I'm actually going to be getting a new setup for my office for recording, so I'll have a little bit more room and it won't be so cramped, which is pretty cool. And you won't have to see my mic in the picture, breaking the fourth wall. So that's exciting. That's all coming up. I'm hoping to get a little bit more time in on Overwatch on the Twitch side of things, which is down in the comment section, or right above the comment section down below. So if you like this kind of thing, I'm going to continue to do it. Just give me a like down there below and give me a comment on what you think of the video, what you think about me doing these fun deck profiles. I realize that Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a really competitive game, but I think it's really fun to take a look at the fun side of things. So try out the deck. Let me know what you think. If you have any comments or suggestions or changes you might make, let me know what you think about it. But I'm going to get out of here. I hope you guys have an awesome day. Later.